Welcome to 100 Yards of Football, and this is our legend segment. And tonight we got a great one tonight, man. A guy from the 561 Boca High School graduate, great football player, Mr. Coach DJ McCarthy. DJ, welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, Double B? Bobby Butler, baby. You the legend.
No, you the legend, man.
Not listen, man. Everyone want to be Bobby Butler, so
Well, you know, it's funny, man. I remember you telling me years ago that you came to my first camp down in Atlantic High School back in 1982, I think, something like that.
Yeah, man. I still remember that. I tell people that story all the time. You had Deion Sanders, you had Ricky Jackson, you had Anthony Carter. You had, It was funny because Paul Fulton, who one of my best friends growing up, Deion had Paul on one side as the DB, and Anthony Carter had me on the other side as the receiver. We went at it the whole time. We did tricks and trades back in '82. So those were rock days. So
we had it working, man. So listen, man. I mean, you've had this tremendous, and you're still young, you're still going. You got this tremendous coaching resume.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you left Boca High School, you went to you attended Long Beach City College for 2 years, right? And we're going to speak on that because I think a lot of kids, especially today, man, everybody, I got to go to this school. I got to go. Dude, just get in, man.
Yeah.
Just get in and work it. And so you started there. You went to Washington.
Yes, sir.
And, man, when you went out there, man, it blew up. You guys won a national title.
Yep.
Man, that's awesome. And you played receiver 3 years out there, and you graduated from there. And 1991 national championship team, and you played in two Rose Bowls, right?
Yes, sir. And 91 and 92, well, it's been the 92, 93 Rose Bowl, but 91, 92 season. So that team won the Pac-12, or in that case, the Pac-10 3 years ago.
Right.
Won it 90, 91, and 92.
Wow.
I got 91. We won the national championship that year, and then went back-to-back Rose Bowl champs, Pac-10 champs, and we beat Iowa, beat Michigan. Then the next year, Tyron Wheatley went off on us in that 92 season, 93 Rose Bowl.
Right.
Off on us and made a name for himself. He hit that trap and just took it to the house.
He did. But that's how it goes. But man, you played college football at a high level.
Yes, sir.
At an extreme high level. Now here's the thing, because a lot of people ask me this question about Bryce when he came out of school.
Yep.
You went all the way from Boca Raton, Delray Beach, to California.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Well, so Rod Montgomery was the head coach all my high school career until my senior year.
Okay.
And he stepped down and he got into administration. And I think one of the worst things they did in South Florida when it comes to athletics and academics and stuff, if you're a dean in the school system down here, you can't be a football coach.
Oh, really?
So now they've taken that role away from some of the most powerful males in the campus, males and females, because the female coaches can't be the volleyball coach or the softball coach. I think that's a travesty because you're talking about a person who has an influence on the kids.
Oh, absolutely.
Those administrative assistants and stuff, not administrative, the assistant deans and assistant principals and stuff.
Right.
Rod stepped down so he can go into his principalship. And then we got a guy named Brian Van Gordon who came in and just shook up the world. Like he came in from a plantation American heritage, Boca Raton, and just changed the whole dynamic.
Wow.
He brought Leibowitz in him. We started running the wing T offense. So in the spring, I was the quarterback. Chris Flowers and I was battling for the spot.
Wow.
I ended up winning out in the spring into the fall. And then as the season went on, Chris became the quarterback and I became kind of the utility man. So I was a receiver. I was a little slot running back. I was the safety, the corner, the punt returner, kind of did a little bit of jack of all trades. So, I had film and everything, but I wasn't a 1,000-yard receiver. I wasn't a 1,000-yard rusher. I did have some interceptions. I think I had about 4 or 5 interceptions. They kept throwing the ball up and I just kept catching it. But then, I didn't have enough film and I was an option NT quarterback. So I could go somewhere and run the option, or I can go somewhere and try to catch some balls as a receiver.
Catch some balls, right.
And Long Beach was running the veer option. And Jamel Holloway was the quarterback coach. So once I heard that, I was like, "Yeah, I'm going there." And then, 5 or 6 of us from Delray that went out there. Steve Jones, Keith Huff, Bernard Rowe, Pernell Williams. Yeah, so there was a bunch of us that went out there from South Florida. And then we was running the veer option. So it made sense to me to learn from a guy like Jamel Holloway, who's one of the best option runners ever in college.
Absolutely.
So I learned a lot there. Then we switched from the veer option to more of a spread. Steve Jones actually was a quarterback, and I moved over to receiver. Keith Huff was one of the running backs. So, and I got a chance to catch some balls and turn down some scholarships to go to Washington. So I ended up walking on at Washington, earning a scholarship.
Oh wow!
And, yeah. So I went the hard way, and I was. They wanted me to be a state resident of Washington. No, I'm from Florida, so I was staying out-of-state tuition. I didn't know any better, right? Out-of-state tuition up there in Seattle, up in Seattle. And I could have saved myself $20,000.
$20,000, man, easy, right?
Yep.
Well, man,
so that's kind of how I ended up at Long Beach, because they ran the veer option. Steve Jones was already out there. Jamel Holloway was the quarterback coach, and it kind of had a little pipeline going out there. And I had a family out in California too, so
that always helps.
Yep, absolutely.
That always helps. Man, that's awesome, man. Because I always say this, right? And all 4 of my boys, 2 of them, had opportunities to go to college and play ball. Well, 3, two of them accepted the scholarships. But I told them this about the recruiting process, right? And I said, look, wherever you go on a trip, your heart should say something when you meet the right guy. Right here, coach. Your heart should say something.
Absolutely.
Because, DJ, I'm telling you, man, when I went to Florida State was not known to nobody.
Right.
Coach Bowden took the team over the year before I got there. They went 5-6. And that was more games than they had won the previous 3 years, I think, combined.
Wow.
And so it wasn't like the Florida State that people got to know. It was that, and so my buddies, I had buddies who were from Delray, who played rock ball together. Went to Michigan State, and man, they really teased me, man, for going to Florida State.
Right.
And I couldn't explain it to him, man. I really couldn't explain it to him why, right?
Yep.
But when I met Coach Bowden, man, it's just like I walked out of the room. I looked at my mom. I said, "Mom, I'm playing for this guy." I said, and she said, "You can't make that decision now. You got to take all your trips." Man, DJ, I was totally convinced. Right then that I got to play for this guy. And then later on, I found out the thing that really drew me to him, right? And so, and then it worked out. I mean, we went in there. My first year, we were 10-2, 8-3 my second year. We played in the Orange Bowl my last 2 years. It was ranked as high as number 2 in the country my senior year. Dude, I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better but win the national championship like you did, right?
Exactly, yep.
Man, that had to be special, man.
It was. So I'm very blessed, fortunate. I won a national championship as a college player, and I also won it as a college coach.
As a coach at LSU, right?
At LSU in 2007. So when you win it as a player, you don't understand the significance of what you've done. Right. But when I won it as a coach, I really did. I was able to embrace it. I was able to really, really, really take it in. You hear people say it all the time how they you won the championship, you done this, you still felt empty. No. I was full. I knew it because I already been there. I knew the importance of it. And more importantly, I wanted the kids I was coaching
to experience that,
to have the experience and feel like I felt when that ball, that clock ticks down. You win it. You're a national champion. You are the best team in the world and the best person in the world at what you're doing that day, no one could dispute it. It was.
It can't be taken away. It's amazing, DJ. When I was at, growing up in Delray back in my time. During segregation, Carver High School, man, was unbelievable, right?
I believe it.
And the guys I looked up to, Anthony Penn was a quarterback. Bro, I'm telling you, I can't even explain him, man. He was that good, know. And I remember, because I grew up wanting to be a running back at first until I saw Anthony Penn play quarterback. And I said, that's what I want to do. I did. But not knowing though, but I went outside, back in the street ball days, and I get my T-shirt. I take a pen, I put number 10 on my white T-shirt, and put pen on the back of the and I'm out there and try to do everything he did Friday night, which he was a great scrambler, but he wasn't a running scrambling guy.
He was looking to throw it,
bruh. listen at this. Listen at this now. We're talking about 1968, 1969. Okay? Now, you know, football in that day, you run the ball first down.
Yep.
You run the ball second down.
Yep.
And you might run the ball on third down.
Be close enough, right?
You throw when you have to, right?
Yep.
So, man, listen, this guy in 2 years of high school ball threw for over 4,600 yards back in the 60s.
Wow.
And you tell me, and his senior, he threw for 21 touchdowns.
Come on.
I'm telling you. And I'm just telling you. So, that dude had my full attention.
Right.
And so I would go out in the streets and try to, and I called myself Anthony Penn. And then one day, Bump Mitchell saw me playing in the street. Right.
There you go.
And he was over there watching. And
he didn't have his 2x4 with him, did he?
No, not then. Later in practice. So he stopped the game in the middle of the street. And he stopped the game. He asked me how old I was. I told him. He said, "You want to play the Rocks next year?" I said, "Yes, sir. I want to play the Rocks next year." Yeah. And he just lined those guys up and said, "Run this pass." And Bobby, wants you to throw this ball to him. Right. So he saw that too, right? Yeah. And that's how I started playing quarterback, with Bump Mitchell, coaches, seeing the talent you got and say, all right, this is what you're going to do. But Anthony Penn set the standard. So he won back-to-back state titles. All right. Yeah. So my whole life in high school, I was trying my best to win a state title. Now, but now listen to this. So at Atlantic, my freshman year, I played rock ball in the 9th grade. Right. But they played for the first state title since Carver High in Delray when I was in 9th grade. They were undefeated and lost to Haines City 7-0. Right. Ooh. And then I got on the team as a sophomore. We didn't make the state tournament. We got voted out. We had this tiebreaker with Glade Central, and they won the tiebreaker some kind of way. So anyway, then my junior and senior year, I played in 2 back-to-back state title games, just like Anthony Penn did.
Wow, there you go.
But he won both, and I lost both. So then I fast forward to college, and the next thing is to win a national title. Yep. And we came close, but no cigar. Right. And then in the National Football League, about 12 years in the Falcons, I played on one winning team, man. So one winning team. I got humbled in the NFL for sure. So you competed and you won. And you won 2 national championships as a player and a coach, right? Yes, sir. And this is an amazing thing. So right after college, did you decide to go and coach? And then what was your plans when you got out of school?
So just like everyone else, I thought I was going to go to the NFL. Mm-hmm. I went over to Seattle. I went to the Seahawks facility. They brought in all the local guys. Mm-hmm. And I had a good turnout. Biggersoft was the receiver coach, and he Steve Lodgen just was going out. Right. Ryan Blades was there, so he liked those slot. So I thought I had a chance, and they didn't keep me. Then I went up to Canada, BC Lions. I got caught in the numbers game up there as far as how many Canadians, how many Americans. Right, exactly. Then I ended up moving back to South Florida, and I played for the Miami Hooters. Okay. So that first year with the Hooters, now I averaged 50 yards of return on a 25 yards of return on the 50-yard field. So and I was hitting it and getting it. So I thought I had something going on there. And then I started working on my Series 7's license. I wanted to make money. What's the best way to make money? So I had a bunch of players with me at Washington in the NFL. I was like, I'll just manage their money. Right. And then, what happened, Bobby, is like you said, something spoke to your spirit. I was doing all the cold calling for a guy named Pete Perez and Doug Kaiser, who was running the place I was working at. And I called a lady, and the lady said her husband passed away. I asked for Mr. Williams. She's like, "Oh no, he passed away." I was like, "Hey, you got my condolences. I apologize. I'll take you off the list." I went to go hang up, and then the guy who was cold calling was like, "No. Ask her what she's doing with the insurance. We can flip it." I was like, "Oh man, that's man." I hung the phone up. I grabbed my jacket. Right. Walked up. Listen now, Bobby. So I was at this place, Joseph Charles Associates, right over there by Town Center Mall. Okay. Right on Glades Road, and I grabbed my jacket, and I was like, I can't do this. So I started walking. I was walking over Glades, over 95. Once you get on top of 95, Boca High is right there to the right. Right. The kids were out there practicing. Wow. The high school was practicing. So I walked down there and introduced myself to the head coach and said, "Hey, I want to coach." And I started coaching right there. That was 1994.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
That's my coaching career. Yep.
Oh man, that's amazing. But one thing I can say, man, because you coach. Let's just go over the list real quick, right?
Yep.
You coach in high school, but you also coach with the Oakland Raiders as an assistant.
Yes, yep.
And you were assistant to the secondary.
Yeah, yep.
So you had a chance to coach Charles Wilson.
Yep. Eric Allen,
right?
Eric Turner.
Yes, sir.
Albert Lewis. Yep. And the assistant DB coach now was Willie Brown.
Wow.
So Mr. Bump and Run. So I had Albert Lewis, and Albert Lewis says all the time, well, Willie Brown, you created Bump and Run, and Albert Lewis perfected it.
Perfected it. Well, I mean, those guys are the best of the best. Albert Lewis was a monster of a corner, right?
No doubt. Big, tall, long guy.
Big, tall, long. I mean,
could run.
But you know, Albert Lewis, people like Mike Haynes, there were some guys, man, who were tall and long back in the day that can cover.
Yep.
That can cover, right?
And they can hold and grab too, because they didn't call that stuff back then.
But they called it like that. That's right. That's right. So Desmond Howard. I mean, you even coach Desmond Howard over there.
I coached Desmond as a punt returner. Yep.
Wow.
And Napoleon Coffin was a kick returner. So I listen. So when I tell you I'm in this profession, God has just opened up doors for me. I'm truly blessed because my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she was an intern. And then, so our quarterback in college, Billy Joe Hobart, his wife was the assistant to the general manager.
Okay.
Billy Joe Hobart ends up marrying her, so she leaves the job.
Okay.
My girlfriend, who's an intern, takes that job to the assistant to the GM. John Gruden becomes the head coach. She overhears John Gruden talking to the GM like, hey, I need some young guys out here some young guys that can run around and just do what we need them to do.
Right.
And Bruce, who's a GM, Bruce Allen, is like, well, Trish's husband or boyfriend, he's in the coach. Why don't you give him a call? So he calls me and asks me if I'm interested. And I'm like, am I interested?
Yes, absolutely.
That's how I went in and interviewed and got my job with the Raiders. And he said, listen, I'm full on the offense. So check this out. So David Shaw, who's a head coach at Stanford, was an offensive GA. John Morton, who's a receiver coach, passing game coordinator for the Raiders now, was the assistant. So he's full on that side of the ball. He said, listen, we don't have an assistant on special team, and I need a guy on defense that knows offense that can help.
Right.
So he put me on defense with Willie Shaw, Willie Brown in the secondary. And then, so my first draft pick was Charles Woodson. We took a free agent and Eric Allen. We had Eric Turner there. We brought Albert Lewis over from Kansas City. So,
my gosh.
Yeah, you can say we're the DB coach. We just sit and listen to those guys. What they're going to do. But I learned so much ball from them.
Absolutely.
From the players. And I was there for 3 years, and I learned so much on both defense, special teams, and then the offseason. John Gruden would always give me a bunch of projects to do. Like, hey, go look at Kansas City screens. Go look at the 49ers shallow cross-up. Go look. And I would do all these cut-ups. And the one thing I always learn is whatever I'm doing, if I'm going to give it to him, I'm going to keep a copy for myself.
There you go.
Yeah, and it drives my wife crazy because we got a garage full of tape and VHS and all in there. Everywhere we go, we take it with us. And I bring it out every once in a while just to refresh myself, get different ideas. And then that's how I learned it. That's how I learned the sport of football. Offense, defense, and special teams during those times. You think about it, high school, junior college, but you get in the NFL, that's you're no longer in pre-algebra, algebra, you're in like trigonometry and all that stuff. You learn at a faster pace. And I learned so much from, and the coaches were so good to me, the personnel guys. They would send me out to go scout a guy, they'll send me go work a guy out, and the guys and the staff would give me things to do. And I was just like a little dog. Like,
let's go.
What is there to do? So, and so my routine was this, Bobby. So I would get all my work done by 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then from 11 to 1, I would take a project, something that Gruden would have me do, or Willie Shaw, or even Al Davis, and I would just study film. We had this big library of the 49ers offense, the Green Bay's offense, the so-and-so's defense, and the Pittsburgh Steelers threw 3-4 back then, with the cover 2. And I would just study. So for 2 hours, I would take time to build myself, go home by 1, be back by 6, and that was my routine for 3 years.
Wow. But man, so let me ask you this, because one thing I know, and of course you know this, to me, right?
Yes, sir.
The greatest thing is to play the game, right? You play the game, but when you can't play no more, the next best thing is to coach the game.
Absolutely.
But to be a coach and to be a great player, you got to study.
Absolutely.
And so when you study the game, I can tell those guys even in the league that I played with, when these guys start playing, they can have anything to do with football because they really didn't have an interest outside of the practice schedule.
Yep.
So, I watched the guys who took tape home, right? Or guys like me and Dion. I had Dion on my wing in the NFL. And so we would just study tape, man. And I give Dion something to take home to the crib. I take something to the crib, and we come home and we watch tape at home.
Yep.
And then we get back together in the morning and we're going to do it all over again.
Yep.
But here's what I found out. You can play with your athletic ability all day long.
Yep.
And I don't care what level you are. When high school, you may be the baddest dude on the planet in high school. You may even go to college and be one of the baddest dudes on the planet.
Absolutely.
Oh, you get to play on Sunday? Dude, you just one of the dudes in the room, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
When I was in college, DJ, then this was a long time ago, I only really had to play 2 games a year.
Right.
And that's when we played Florida, Chris Collinsworth.
Yep.
And a guy named Marty McDowell played for Mississippi State.
Okay.
So I had to play. When I played those 2 guys, bruh, it better be my best game. But the rest of the time, man, it's just easy.
Yeah, you're getting bored out there.
Man, when I got in the NFL, every team had 3 guys that could take you.
Yep.
Every team had 3 that can take you. So you got to be ready, right? Yep.
The best of the best. And they had someone in the wing trying to take their spot.
Trying to take their spot, right. Yep. Exactly. So when did you fall in love with the game? Because you got to fall in love with this game to be able to coach like you coach.
Absolutely. So, Bobby Butler, let me tell you something. My parents were so pissed at me when I was younger because I had that little electronic football game where you turn it on and it buzz and it move around. Right. I would play that thing 3-4 hours a night. And then my little cousin Tyrone, who's behind me, Herb Riley, we used to have leagues. Like we would have a whole schedule of who's playing who on Tuesday, who's playing who on Wednesday. And we would go to Tyrone's house, across at Doozy's house, and we turned that thing on, drive our parents crazy. But number one, we was out the streets, we was out of trouble. That's when I truly fell in love. I knew I was going to be a coach. And I was playing that electronic football game.
Wow,
24 hours and just just trying to find strategically how you can get better and putting the gum under the shoe and putting a nut in the gum under the shoe to make the guy hairier so he can push. We had a lot of fun, but that's when I knew. That's when I fell in love with the game. That electronic football game, and the Pittsburgh Steelers played the Los Angeles Rams in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I saw Lance Swan jump up and catch that. I wanted to be like that guy.
That guy. It's amazing. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. You gotta eat, sleep, breathe it. But it's amazing. So now, right? Based on my own personal life and my experience.
Yes, sir.
Right? I hear a lot of people that get tired of kids and they want to play in the league. They want to do this. I want to say, first of all, you can't be a dream killer. Don't ever be a dream killer. Right? Don't ever be a dream killer. Let them know that they can. But here's what you say to them. Say, look, okay, that's great. You got it written down somewhere, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Set a goal.
You got a plan to work it out. The work you got to put in to get it done. You got a plan to get good grades and get ready to pass the SAT or ACT exam. Get ready for those things, right? But here's what I say. I'll tell them this. I say, now, go and play as long as you can. But one day, you're not going to be playing. And I always say it like this because I tried. After my 12th year, when it was over, I cried like a baby.
Yep.
Because I'm thinking I'm going back for 13, man, right? This is what I love to do, right? So what I tell kids is, all right, so when your playing days are over, I mean, you can still be in the game until the grade.
Absolutely.
So go to college. When you go to college, make sure you get that paper.
Yep. So
you can coach in college, coach in high school, right?
Yep.
Because you got to get that to make it happen. I'm saying you can have a beautiful life. Yep. So I will never tell a kid, like everybody told me as a kid, oh man, you need a backup plan. Yeah, my backup plan should have been coaching, right?
Well, not just that, and so a lot of people forget that there's so much more to this sport than coaching. Because you can go be a scout, you can end up being a GM, you can be a college scout, pro scout, you can be a referee, Those guys make good money.
There's
so many different entities. You can be in marketing. I mean, you can be in player development. There's so many different parts of the sport that you still can be a part of and still have an impact on young people's lives and still be around the game. So, like, you got females who are in it too. Like, I mean, think about it. You're a guy. All you have is daughters. You never had a son. Like, well, you want to sit down and watch football with your kid. Well, your kid may be a daughter. She falls in love with it. Well, now the doors are open. They got females coaching. They got female football leagues. They got 170 teams all throughout America of professional female football.
Wow.
They got female referees. I mean, there's so many people in personnel. There's so many things that are out there for you, guys and girls. And don't limit yourself. I'm big on that. Don't be a dream killer. Just because you have the vision and then you map out the plan, have a vision, have a goal. These are the things you need to do. I hate that backup plan because you're talking about a backup plan.
Right.
Now you don't have enough focus on the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing.
There you go.
I can always get back to the other thing when that becomes the main thing.
There you go.
The main thing, and stay focused on that. Freaking go for the gusto. I mean, you can make money in Canada. You can make money in arena ball.
Yes.
You go overseas and make money for a couple of years. I mean,
that
being an adult is overrated now. Like, ride that wave as long as you can. But at some point, you won't be able to play it. But now, so what's next?
What's next?
Correct.
And I agree with that because when I had that first football camp at Atlantic, right?
Yes.
All right. So I had been doing when I left there. There was a coach there that didn't want me to do football camps. Some new coach came there and I'm like, what? Well, he wanted to do his own football camps.
Correct.
I just put my 2 and 2 together. But I'm just a hometown guy. I wasn't charging anybody anything.
Nope.
I even fed you guys that day. I mean, everything. That was money out of my own pocket because I want to come back to Delray and inspire kids. That look. If little old me can do it, it's possible for anybody, right?
Absolutely.
And so what I did after that, I came to Atlanta and started doing football camps.
Yep.
That's all I've ever done. Yep. And then in 2000, one of my ex-teammates moved back to Atlanta. We sat down together and started talking about. He was doing character camps in North Carolina. And so I'm doing youth football camps. And so we got together, let's put it together. Right?
Absolutely.
Let's start teaching character at our football camps, right? And so we formed that in 2000. And we still going strong. Matter of fact, we got shut down last summer.
Right.
We just started up again, right? Where we're doing these football camps. And we're all over the United States, DJ. I do football for kids. We go as far out, Bozeman, Montana.
That's what's up.
We've been as north as Rochester, New York.
Right.
We've been down in Harlem doing. I mean, we're all over, especially the Southeast. The Virginias, the North Carolinas, the South Carolinas, Georgia, of course, and the state of Florida. But I love it. It keeps me young.
Right, exactly right. It keeps you in the game. Keeps you around.
And it keeps me in the game. It keeps me in the game, and so we really enjoy that. So there's so many things you can do. So let's get back to you real quick. All right. So you coach college ball at Nevada.
Yep.
The University of Central Florida.
Yes, sir.
UCLA.
Yes, sir.
LSU.
Yes, sir.
Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune went HBCU, Bethune, and FAM. So
FAMU, right?
Yep.
And then you coached. Now here's what I love, because when you go to these different schools, right? I love this. Where everybody say, "Well, you got to go to these kind of schools, this kind of school, make it to the NFL." You coach people like Brandon Marshall at Central Florida.
Yep.
Right. Nate Burleson at Nevada.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Erlen Doucette.
Yep.
I remember meeting him when Bryce came out there to visit.
Bryce came on the visit. Yep.
Yeah, I remember early. Brandon LaFell.
Yep. Brandon LaFell.
And Terrence Tolliver.
Yeah. TT. Yep.
TT. So man, you got a chance to influence and develop a lot of great talent over the years. And how does it feel though when you see them go on and do that good on the next level? How does it feel, man?
It feels great because, that you're a part of them living their dreams, trying to reach their goal. My goal is to help them reach their goal.
Absolutely.
So when you're able to do that, it just impacts a young man's life. And I just tell them all the time, like, if all I teach is football, then I missed the mark. Like, it's more than just football for me.
Right.
I feel if I build a better man, the better player is going to come.
Right, absolutely.
God, when the sperm hit the egg, I mean, He bless you.
He bless you.
Right. 6'6", Brandon 6'5", 230 pound run. So right. He blessed you with all that. But my job is to get the character right, get the little things right, and let the little things take care of the big things. And then as they go off and get a chance to watch my TV, you talk about you're talking about Nate Burleson. Well, Nate Burleson had 138 catches in one season.
Wow.
And his senior year in high school, he's a wing T running back. Really? So he had like 3 catches his senior year in high school. They put the ball in his hand. Right. And he went from 52 catches to 138.
Wow.
And some of the things I'm proud of, you got to like Nate Burleson, who's at Nevada. Well, he holds the NCAA record for catches in a single game. He had 22 catches in the game.
What? Wow.
And then 5-6 years later, Brandon Marshall breaks the NFL record. He breaks T.O.'s record for having the most catches in an NFL game. I think he was like 20 or 21. So
right.
I was able to coach and mentor both.
Man, that's awesome.
They both hold those records, and you talk about those guys who made it to the league, which is phenomenal, awesome. Making all that money.
Mm-hmm. But
there's 232 kids that were in my wide receiver room over the last 20 years that have gotten their degrees and are now fathers and husbands and principals or now in coaching and the impact that I had on those guys to me is just as important as the guys that make it to the NFL.
Well, absolutely, man. What you want to see in your kids, first of all, that they go on, that they get the education and that they become great people.
Correct.
Just great people to go on and live on. And when we get together, we tell all these stories about the old time, man. It's nothing, it's nothing like that brotherhood and that fatherhood relationship.
No doubt.
When you coach kids. So all right. And so then after all that, you went to FAU.
Yep.
And you coached. And here's the thing: when y'all went to FAU, y'all made some things happen, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm looking at it. Y'all finished, topping the conference in total offense, passing offense, and scoring.
Yep.
And ranked top 10 nationally in all 3 categories.
Absolutely.
So y'all went to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all went to work.
The 2007 season, numbers-wise, was better than the 2019 season.
What?
As far we averaged 40 points a game in 2017. We averaged 39.8 in 2019. I'm a numbers guy because the numbers. Right. I mean, it tells you a lot. But we averaged 580 yards one year, 560 yards the next year. But being there with Lane Kiffin and what we did on offense and the things that we were able to do, and to be a part of that, the little piece I was a part of it, getting the guys ready, and we always have those battles and talking about trying to get the best player, get a better player like coach. Mm-hmm. We got enough. We got enough. Like if you talk to a player about who he is, that's who he'll always be. Right. We got to speak into these kids of who we want them to be.
Right. There you go.
And then that's who they'll strive to be. I mean, think about it. We only lost one game in the 2 years I was at FAU. We only lost one game in the conference.
That's big, bro.
We won 2 championships one in 17, one in 19 when I was there.
Right.
We ran away with the numbers, and it's amazing. Like no one in our conference hired anyone from the staff, and that makes no sense to me. But that's how it is. It's now Butch brought me down when Lane left to go to Ole Miss. And the new guy came in, and Butch brought me down here to help out down here. So, but yeah, like we put up great numbers, and it doesn't matter where you're at, be where your feet are, stay in the moment. Your opportunity is going to come. Make the most of your opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't count your reps. Make your reps count. I mean, I can go on and on forever because I was an underdog. I was an undersized kid.
Right. Exactly.
There on a scholarship. Right. So, like the one thing I hate more than anything is someone who's unappreciative and someone that wastes his talent.
Right. Exactly.
So
exactly. That's cool, man. So, all right. So you left FAU and you're in your second season at FIU. Right.
Yes, sir.
And shoot, man. And you with Butch Davis.
With Butch Davis, exactly right.
Well, bro, I ain't expecting no big things out of this right here. Right?
Yeah, we get out that pandemic, got a couple quarterbacks and a couple receivers throw the ball too. We got our running back room is stacked. So and we brought Withers over on the defensive side of the ball, who's been at Ohio State, been in the NFL, been at Texas. So we're expecting some big things here. So we're excited.
Right, man. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So let me ask you this, man. So I mean, you got this great career and you're still going.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you got juice. You got a long time to go, bro.
No doubt.
You got a long time to go. So real quick, man, tell me this, because I wanted to know. One of the things I always ask, because everybody's got their own personal story. All right, I got mine. You got yours. So when did you start playing football from the very beginning?
So just like everyone else, just like your story, you play in the streets and stuff. And then I actually started with the Boca Jets because we moved down from Rhode Island in 78, 79.
Okay.
And my mom was dating James Sisko, the karate guy in the area.
Yeah.
And we lived in Boca. We lived in Boca first, so I played for the Boca Jets 1 year, and then I started playing for the Rocks. So I started in the Rocks in 80 or 81. Okay. 80 pound, 90 pound, whatever it was at the time. And I was on the team with Paul Fulton and James Blue and all those guys.
Yeah,
so
man.
Guys were still like Garrett Davis, Lamar Davis. We're still friends to this day.
Wow.
But that's when I really started. The Boca Jets was the Boca Jets. I had a good time, good friends. But I spent 3 years with the Rocks, and that's who made me who I was. You're talking about like the pride and the heart and because you were going to see it every day, every play. And everyone who was on the other side was coming for you, and you were coming for them.
You were coming for them. You're
going to go play basketball like Rodney Dobar.
Exactly. Right. I mean,
we got it in now.
What a great foundation we had, man. Because when I was a kid, Bill Smith just started that program in 68, I think. 68 or 69. And so we just started playing. And that's a question I asked my old guys. When you didn't have the Delray Rocks, how did you guys develop, right?
Right.
And it was different back then because school back then, Carver High,
they had ball.
Was first grade through 12th grade.
Wow.
So all of that, right? So it was one school.
Wow.
And so what they did, they started kids in 7th grade, just like you would go to a middle school or a junior high, right?
Yep.
And they'll be out there together, and they just have to wait their turn. And so imagine kids that young playing with older kids.
The kids.
Bruh, let me tell you something, man. We'll talk about this off the tape. But I got some information on the city of Delray.
Right.
From the very beginning, from 1944 to 1964, when Mr. Pompey started the athletic program. And those were his 20 years. And he coached every sport.
Wow.
He coached every sport. And they got a list of all conference, all the stars on the team. And I'm looking at names for the first time now. I'll be 62 this Friday. For the first time, DJ, I'm looking at names of guys that I saw walk around Delray. With a big beer belly. And I'm going I didn't think nothing about the guy. But now I'm saying that dude was all world, right? Well, just the name, it's almost like every adult male from Delray was on that list somewhere. One of my uncles was on the first football team. He was a center. The guy I'm named after, Bobby Butler.
Right.
He was an all-conference center, man.
Wow.
I was like, wow.
Wow, that's crazy.
People like Bump Mitchell.
Yep.
People like Dusty Evans. I mean, I can go on and on and on. We got to have that conversation.
No doubt.
But man, our tradition is long.
Absolutely.
We got a real history.
I got to brag on our city because people don't. I try to explain everywhere I've been because when you're on the West Coast and I've been all over and they're like, well, where are you from?
Right.
I'm from Delray Beach. Well, where's that? Well, it's by West Palm. In between West Palm and Fort Lauderdale. But I tell people all the time, we didn't want for anything. Exactly. We had our own doctors, we had our own lawyers, we had our own dentists, we had our own grocery stores. Everyone came to us because they wanted to come to Roots Festival.
That's right.
We had no one want everyone don't understand why we are who we are, and we walk with the swag that we walk with when you come out of Delray because we had it all. It was instilled in us, whether it was Mr. Pompey, whether it's Bump Mitchell, whoever it was. I mean, they instilled that pride in us, and then you had to battle and fight to make a name for yourself in that city. Absolutely. On the field and in the classroom.
Absolutely.
We got kids who are going to Harvard from our town.
Absolutely, man. Crazy, right?
It's like we had it all. We had
everything. And so I've been doing this Legends piece, right? And in my mind, it started out I'm just going to talk to football players, right?
Yep. Right.
Yeah, I can't just do that because it's bigger than just football.
Yep.
It's bigger than just football, right? And so I'm having a great time doing this show, man. But listen, man, we don't have long to be on the show. I want to ask you this: if you could say anything to a kid who's dreaming to play football, what would you say to him, man?
It would be never give up, bet on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Never give up, resilience,
right.
Fight, have that dog in you. and bet on yourself. Never give up. Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. Bet on yourself. And that's what I had to do. I moved down here. I wasn't born here, so I moved down here.
Right.
So the new guy the little light-skinned dude from Florida, he's from up north, he spoke proper. So I had to fight my way through it.
You had to deal with
it. Young guy with a little earring in his ears, new karate and all that type. So everyone, how you know karate? So I just had to battle and fight, and it made me the man I am today.
Absolutely.
And just never give up and believe in yourself. If you got those two things, you'll find a way to make it happen.
You'll find a way to make it happen.
The thing, Bobby, is like God will always put people in place right when you need them. Boom, boom. Every time one door closed, another door opened. Every time this happened, there was someone in place to help me go that next step. And I just remember sitting in the barber shop on Atlantic Avenue. Clay was cutting my hair, and I saw a guy running down freaking Atlantic Avenue.
Wow. And
it was Derek Crudup. Like Derek Crudup seen it, like, man, that's a dude going. That's number 8. Like you had fans.
Right.
I had Derek Crudup.
Derek Crudup.
I watched him through the fence at Boca High.
Right.
Had that number 8 in the boss man towel, and that was my hero. That's what I wanted to be like. I want to play quarterback like Bobby, just like he wanted to be like you, just like you want to be like Penix.
That's how I go. That's how I go.
So I'll tell a kid anytime, like, always believe in yourself and never give up. Because if you just keep going, something good's going to happen.
Something good is going to happen.
Keep going. You might be in your 11th hour. You just never know. Right. Just keep going. Right. Never give up on you, and just always believe in yourself.
Right. That's powerful, man. Well, listen, man, you and I can sit here and talk all day. Right?
Oh, there's no doubt.
And I'm man. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
But one of the things I want to do, if I can, and there's so many of us from Delray who've gone on and done well.
Yep.
And I'm just trying to bring a light to it.
Awesome.
And so I'm not going to forget not one person, I promise you.
Right.
Because I want the guys who are playing high school ball today to understand that, hey, look, we come from a rich tradition. And when I hear a kid anywhere, if somebody tells me there's a kid playing ball at Iowa State,
right,
playing corner, wearing number 2, I'm checking him out. I want to know who he is. I want him to know that, listen, he's standing on a lot of shoulders.
Absolutely.
Guys who came before him, that and they need to know that.
Absolutely.
Well, look, man, thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. Thank you again,
Absolutely.
Coach DJ McCarthy. And we love having you. If you like the video tonight, share it, comment, share it with your friends. This is Bobby Butler, your host, 100 Yards of Football, and our legend tonight, Coach DJ McCarthy.